child. I don't know why. It was probably more like a friendly thing. You know, you have a show, she has a panel, you guys be friends. I was always meddling in people's love life, sex life, relationships, everything. And then my husband, I got married very young, by the way. Kind of a cultural thing, right? At 21, my mom was saying, "You're not dating quality Jewish men, or not any Jewish men." So they put my name, my picture, my profile in our local Orange County JCC. I don't know if you're familiar with it. This was before the internet, so there was a book for guys, a book for girls, and you go and you flip through it. And happens to be my husband put himself in there too. So that's how we met. But it's always been part of my life. I'm currently meddling into my boys' love lives. One's 18, one's 24, but can never start too young. And I work with pretty much everyone who needs my help, and those that I can help. I do turn people away quite often because they think they're ready, but they're not ready. And the biggest challenge, of course, nowadays is this instant gratification with online dating apps. As my oldest is on all the apps, I'm sure, and that it's a problem. It's like next one will be better, next one will be prettier, next one will be whatever, right? Grass always greener. So, and the way we date in America is very different than people date in Europe, in Asian countries, and other places. So, my first advice and the challenge is to be open-minded and serious, and to show me that this is really what you want, and it's not just because your Jewish mother wants you to get married. But I do get those calls a lot, actually. It's probably like once or twice a week a Jewish mother or father calls me. I've had Italian too, but it's mainly Jewish. It's just kind of what we do, right? So I don't know if anyone has specific questions. I am in Orange County, but I work with people from all over the country. The youngest I've had was like a 23-year-old. My oldest client is 85. Although he kept forgetting how old he was, and I finally just said, "Marvin, doesn't even matter at this point." Just like, "I think I'm 85, but maybe 84. No big deal." We'll skip that. So, but it's not easy. I have, a client right now who's in his 50s and he wants to date women of childbearing age, whatever that means. Don't know why, but, well, I do know why, but. So it's a challenging business, but it's also when I get to go to people's weddings, when I see babies born due to it, it's amazing. And obviously with everything going on right now, myself and other matchmakers, especially the Jewish matchmakers, we made it our mission to create as many babies as possible. So we have a really big group chat and WhatsApp and Facebook, and we network, we talk to each other, we set profiles to each other, we help each other. And that's really helpful too. So if anyone has any particular questions about matchmaking or my business or in general.
You said you had a book that you went to when you were interested, and I was wondering, is that something that I never knew that existed? And I'm just wondering how you go, if somebody comes to you and says, "I really, want to get married," where do you look? I'm already married. I go up and look, but where would you, how do you go about finding someone?
Right.
So many people have so much trouble with it.
Right. Well, over the years, thankfully, I have grown my database. So when people come to me and they just want to be in my database, they pay a small fee and they go into my database. They just fill out a form on my website. It's like a 60-plus questionnaire. Everything about themselves, the background, I talk to everyone, and I put them in there. So when I get a client, I reach out to those that are in my database. And if I don't have anyone, well, first of all, I don't take anyone on unless I have people for them. But I also reach out to other matchmakers and see who they might have. So we work together all the time. So that helps. The book that you're talking about, this was before like internet, really. I think it was just starting. So the JCC in Orange County had like a singles service. You paid, I don't know, it was $60 a year or something, and they had a book of guys and a book of girls, and it was like a profile and pictures. So it was kind of interesting. You literally flip through the pages. So.
I don't think we had that.
All right, we got another question.
Excuse me, would the Orthodox only stick with Orthodox matchmakers?
Pretty much, yeah. I don't really take on anyone that religious. So most people that come to me are pretty reformed, maybe conservative, but that's pretty much it. And then I refer them out to matchmakers who, are in that particular community, because that's, growing up in Eastern Europe and Soviet Russia, I didn't even know what it was to be Russian. I had to learn it here through my husband, through my kids. So that's like a level beyond, what I know. So, yeah, but typically they do, yes.
How would you say that your service is different from online dating services?
Well, it's a completely different thing. First of all, it's all private, and second of all, I do all the work for my clients. It's not them going out there looking for people, it's me. And I interview everyone. A lot of times I'll do background checks. So it's all the work is done by me and my staff, So that's the biggest difference, really. And sometimes I'll put them online if they want to try it, and I help them with that too, so. You're gonna run everywhere.
I know obviously yours is a Jewish service, and probably the matchmakers you talk to are also Jewish. Are there matchmakers in the Christian community, in the Arab community, etc.?
Oh yeah, and I work with everyone. I don't work with just Jewish people. I work with everyone. But yes, there's a lot of matchmakers that are very niche, so that's their thing. There's a big matchmaker big company that I worked with for a long time. Her niche is Asian women, Jewish men. I don't know, Jewish men, you wanna, well, I don't know, it's a thing, right? So there's also one that does, just Asian people. There's one that does Christian only, or Catholic, any culture, any background, it's there. And then I refer them to that. I actually just declined someone a couple weeks ago because she was Christian, but she was pretty religious, and I just don't have anyone, that would be good.
Once you have two people in mind, what's the next step?
Well, it's a whole process. So everyone fills out a form. We do a consultation. I meet with everyone. They do a photo shoot, which Heather, if anybody needs pictures. And we get professional pictures done. And then I present profiles. Of course, we talk about what they want. And most of the times what they think they want is not what they need. So we quickly kind of deduct all of that, 60-year-old wanting 30-year-old. No, that's not going to happen. You can go pay for that, there's services for that. So, but so it's a process, it's me meeting with everyone, getting to know them, getting to know what they want.
So it's introduction mostly.
It's just introductions, yeah. And the biggest thing I tell people is I'm not dating every single person. That would be fun, but all I can do is present you to each person, and it's up to you to develop a relationship and not to mess it up. And they do. They come back to me all the time because I messed it up. So, did you have a question?
Can I get a list from you of Orthodox matchmakers?
Sure. Yeah, if you want to email me. And I put my cards and my books, if anyone wants to read a funny book, in the front when you're walking out. But my cards are there if you want to email me. Yeah, I'll be happy to refer you. There's some here and there's some in Israel, but most of them work with people here in Israel and all over the world. So.
In the film that we saw just now, the family, the extended family, the parents were really involved in the situation. With your clients, how often are the parents and the family, and how do you navigate all of that?
Well, if they're Jewish, they're very involved. If they're Russian, Eastern European, I can't say Russian anymore. Even though we're Russian speaking, I was born in Ukraine, but we lived in Latvia, which a lot of people don't know where it is, but we speak Russian. So now I'm going off on a tangent, so just stop me. It happens a lot. But Russian parents, Eastern European parents, and Jewish parents are very involved. And I'll get phone calls, from like the Russian-speaking parents, like, you Russian, I Russian, you give me discount. Like, no. Or, you find my daughter a prince and I pay you after. No. You pay me now, I find her a prince or a guy. So, but yeah, they're very involved and I'm fine with it, but the child has to want this because they're an adult. So a lot of times, I do a lot of stuff for my son too, and I put him up on a singles group on Facebook. He's like, please stop. I didn't consent. And they do that for their kids too, which I totally understand. But as long as the children are consenting to it and they want to bring their mom to our meeting, it's fine. I have no problem with it. At some point, like, they want to show up on a date, that's wrong. And I've had a mother show up to a date. And I was there, so I had to kind of tell her to leave. But yeah, there's a lot of comedy in this business. It's stand up is my next thing.
I actually have a question. Are you noticing a trend in more people that aren't necessarily religious looking for matchmakers because online dating is so hard and people don't meet in person anymore?
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, of all faiths and no faith, people that are just tired of online dating, like you said. It's exhausting. I'm exhausted when I do it with my clients. So it's become more a numbers game, Like I said, it's just swiping. And I remember hearing Patty Stanger, who nobody should ever take advice from that woman, but she hired me to find her someone. Messed that up too, but anyway, and she was literally saying if you're not going out on like 7 dates a week or whatever it is, or even have like 2 a day, then you're not going to meet anyone, which is ridiculous. It's not about numbers, it's about quantity. It's not about it's about quality, not quantity. See, English is my third language, so. But yes, everyone is looking for their partner, and it's really hard with online dating.
Are there any other questions? Yeah.
Just, what is the overall profile of a lot of your clients in terms of age category, over 50, under 50?
It changes. It changes all the time. There's months where I've had a lot of 30s, 30 to 40s, and right now most of my clients are like 50 to 65. I don't know, it just changes, it varies every month. So, and I know a gentleman here asked if I work with same-sex couples. So, it was out in the question. Yeah, I think he was asking that, right? Yeah. I mainly have always worked with heterosexual couples, but I would love to get into the LGBTQ community. It's not as easy because I'm known as, the straight matchmaker, but if I know someone, I just don't have a big database. But I welcome everyone, of course.
Do you have any advice for anyone who's looking for love?
So much. Look, I've been married a long time, but of course, most of you can give your own advice, right? Like how not to kill your spouse on a daily basis, too. But today alone, it really comes down to, I got really lucky because there's no way anyone else could deal with this crazy, and my husband just knows how to deal with me. So I feel like there's a balance, or everyone always says, oh, I'm very outgoing, so I need to date someone who's the same. No, you don't. Just like, opposites don't attract. Being similar doesn't attract either. It's just too much of the same, or too much of the opposite. So, I really feel like within my own relationship with other people, with my clients, being open-minded is the key to everything. And, having that little criteria, that little box that no woman or no man has to fit into, it doesn't help you. That's my biggest advice, being open-minded and patient. So, yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Oh,
How much do you charge, and is there money back guarantee, or how does it work? Topless, okay?
Yeah, I do get asked that a lot. I ended up actually putting frequently asked questions on my website because that was the biggest one. How much do you charge? So basically it varies. It varies on the level of difficulty. It levels from person to person. What I would charge, a 30-year-old is probably different than I would charge someone who's in their 60s or 70s. If I have to get other matchmakers involved, because sometimes we have to pay for their matches. So it varies. It really, I can't even tell you. All I can tell you is I have a database. People can get in there for $500 a year. And we call you, and I call people all the time for matches. So the memberships are between 3 to 6 months long, and they vary, could be anywhere from, I don't even want to give you a number because it depends on so many factors. And he's probably married, yeah. Well, I do have married people that will come to me actually too, and then I have their wives call me too. Do you have someone so-and-so in your database? I'm like, I do. Why is he in here? Yeah, he's married, please delete him. I get it, if it's been a while and you want to try something new, but both parties need to consent, right? You both need to know what the other one's doing.
I actually have, I have a statement. 33 years ago, I worked here, the JCC, then GCC. I ran the teen and children's program, but I was taking over for someone on medical leave who ran the singles adults program. So, having said that, one of their activities, what was it called, the bar? What was it called? The hop. So I had just broken up with someone 6 weeks before. I could care less. I didn't care what I was wearing. And my friend said, no, you better wear this. I said, okay. So I'm just signing people in, and and I was going to leave. And the gentleman here who's married, he came with a friend, and I heard him speak Hebrew, and then people were dancing, and he didn't ask me to dance, but he asked someone else to dance. But after the net, so next in April will be 32 years.
Wow, very good, Michelle. That's an amazing story. Yeah, that's, the funniest thing is my husband actually didn't want to sign up for the service at our GCC. It was his friend David Weinstein who said, hey, you go do it, tell me if there's any hot girls there. And then he saw me, he was like, I'm going to sign up. But he's also 11 years older than me. So when I saw him, I was like, no, he's 11 years older. My friend, my Jewish friend was like, no, you just ask, he's cute, ask, I'm fine. So it happens like that, right? You never know. Yeah, I want to do more singles events. I used to do a lot of them actually before COVID. And I'm going to try to start doing more. I would love to do more singles, Jewish singles events. So if anyone here would like to, we'll talk. I'd love to do it.
Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us. I believe you're going to stay for a minute if anyone's interested in your book. So if you have any more questions or you want to look at Julia's book, she's